Hello, everybody. So today we have one more seminar with our help and advices for teachers. And I'm pleased to present today Anna Maisvee from Estonia. She studied educational policy at King's College in London, and later she joined International Organization of Migration in Estonia. And it's like she has a lot of experience, as far as I know, working on national and international level, especially with the inclusion with the children to the schools, and especially with the education. And today she will share how goes on the situation in Estonia, what measures they are taking to involve Ukrainian children into the schools. And yeah, now my word goes to Anna.
Right. No, the microphone is working, is it?
Yeah, it's working.
Can you hear me? Well, I'm so sorry. My voice is very bad. This is the souvenir I brought from Oslo. It was very picturesque, but also very cold. And hello to everyone, also from me. Thank you for inviting me. It's a great honor, and it's always very, very good to be among colleagues. Very briefly about me, yes, I am also actually originally a teacher, an English teacher from Tallinn, Estonia. And later on I studied at the King's College in London, which others have already said, and policy design, education policy was my major then. I have great passion for the work of teachers, and it has been my endeavor to help my former colleagues and teachers all over Estonia with things that really matter to me. For example, how to manage the time better when you're teaching and you need to do all sorts of things and paperwork, and also obviously some of us that need to be working very, very hard, doing the work of at least the 2, if not 3 people sometimes, it seems. So anything to help and aid and support teachers is something that I'm very passionate about. And indeed, the current Ukrainian Russian aggression towards Ukraine has brought new challenges to Estonian teachers, at least here in Estonia. But also, it's a multifaceted crisis when we talk about education, and I'm very, very certain that this is the same in Lithuania as well. And I'm very, very keen to learn. How are you getting on there? Because obviously things in Estonia are pretty difficult, it seems. But I'm going to share some slides. I don't know if you see them now. Oh,
no, we cannot see them. Can you share them?
Just 1 second. Right, let me just do it again. Should be able to see it now, right?
Yeah, we can see them.
Okay.
Just make them bigger.
Yeah. Is that okay now?
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Okay. So I thought just to begin with, and so that we can compare the statistics and also the knowledge that we have here. This is a seminar where I understand that this is where you are sharing your knowledge, right? You are talking about things that help teachers and the school leaders and not only in Lithuania but also in Estonia, hopefully. It's a sort of two-way street to me. So I'm very, very keen to learn from your side later on. But yes, these are the figures from the 27th of November. So we do have 17,112 Ukrainian refugees under 19 years of age in the country, or that was basically almost a month ago. And 8,092 have registered in the Estonian educational system. And I have also outlined the percentages, how these numbers actually are divided between various different levels of our school system. In Estonia, obviously very, very similar to Lithuanian school system in that we do have the the preschool, the elementary school, and the secondary school, and we have vocational schools. Although I think that your vocational schools are doing a lot better than ours in many ways. 9,157 kids on compulsory schooling for those who are of ages from 7 years old to 17 years old. So why these numbers are important? Well, because by law, this is the legislation of Estonian government that that children have to go to the elementary level school, which is a basic school, but also labeled as such. And it turns out that you can go to the elementary school up until you're 17 years old. So this is something that that is by law regulated, and I have to say that this is where we also struggle a little bit here in Estonia. And again, I'm very interested to learn about your experiences. But we do have some Ukrainian families who are opting out from Estonian schools, actually having the international protection at the same time. Now, this is a very difficult thing for them sometimes to understand, that by law, they have to send their children to school, and if they don't, they can lose the protection. I don't know of any cases at the moment that this has happened, but I know that there have been cases where there has been that threat. So and again, some of the numbers here just to show you how these Ukrainian refugee children have been divided between different schools. You know that we also have Russian-speaking schools in Estonia, and also some private schools that are English-speaking schools. And the end here, at the end here, you see this line about Ukrainian teachers. Now, again, I'm very, very interested to learn how many Ukrainian teachers have you been employing. How is Lithuania doing in that regard? Because we do have at the moment in Estonia around, I think, nearly 60,000 Ukrainians, which is a very, very big number. And sure enough, there are a lot of teachers among them. And because at IOM, just like Andrius, your colleagues in Lithuania, here in Estonia, we also provide the service of a welcome module of beneficiaries of international protection. And I see teachers there all the time. When I go and try to sort of see who are these people, and just to make some personal connections. And so many teachers there who have arrived to Estonia, but are not very willing to enter the system, the educational system here. So only 170 teachers have been employed throughout Estonia. I mean, this is not only Tallinn, which is the largest, obviously, the local municipality, as you can imagine. I'm sure that you know Estonia quite well. But so we do have, yes, actually very, very few Ukrainians. And there are very interesting ideas about this as well. First of all, the ideas about why is this happening, and in interviewing these people from Ukraine, these teachers, I do understand how different is this system of theirs from ours. Estonian school, as you know, is very autonomous, and teachers are also autonomous. This doesn't mean that every teacher goes and teaches what they want. Obviously, we do have a syllabus, which is also a law. This is the act of law. But every local municipality who is the owner of a school, every school also with a head teacher or a school leader, and every teacher actually contributes towards this autonomousness. So the teachers, they really need to work through the required syllabus that needs to be taught. But they have very, very a lot of freedom in delivering the knowledge that needs to be distilled to pupils in the classroom. And for some reason, I think Ukrainian teachers are a little bit afraid of this. Now, again, I would very much like to know your ideas about this. So maybe when I finish, and I won't be long, I will definitely very, very keen to learn your ideas about this as well. But yes, there's something that they are uncomfortable about, and also I'm very interested in learning, what is your experience in Lithuania, and how many teachers, Ukrainian teachers, have been successfully employed there in the school educational system, and how are they doing, and how are they supported. That is also something that is of great interest to me. Right, moving on. So what is IOM doing right now, and how are we helping the situation with Ukrainians, especially in the country? Well, I have already touched upon the adaptation courses that we call welcome sessions that we are delivering to beneficiaries of international protection here in Estonia. Actually, mimicking that welcome session prototype that is developed for adults, we have actually tailor-made something that is very relevant to teenagers and children in Estonia. So we piloted this project from late October to early December, and this is basically a series of events, sessions, activity days we call them, with IOM, where all six sessions carry a certain topic. So the first one was about culture, language, and customs. The second one dealt with children and teenagers in Estonian society. So, what is permitted and what is to be expected. Sweeping questions, yes, but very, very good session. School, university, and youth centers. One session was dedicated to the topic of education. Laste-abi. Now, Laste-abi, and this is a telephone number 116-111. So this is the telephone number that every a child in Estonia knows by heart. This is the telephone number every kid can call when they're in trouble. So one of those sessions was then dedicated to how can you help yourself as a child, as a teenager in the country. And then the next session, can children and teenagers work in Estonia? That was something that was of great interest, and there were, I think, the record numbers of participants. Actually, well, maybe the last one was a bit more popular because it was to do with Christmas, the Christmas traditions in Estonia and Ukraine. So how we developed it, basically, I'm sure that that you have learned from Andrius, and you have had many interesting topics and sessions with him that you have covered. But IOM is a very rich organization when it comes to collegial input and help and experience. So our colleagues from Italy, IOM Italy, developed a program for teenagers traveling from various countries back when we had the great crisis, the migration crisis in Europe back in 2015, 16, 17, those years, I'm sure you remember. So, well, what we did, and this program is called the Commit program. And what we learned when we were looking at this Commit program, we realized that although it is meant for a very, very different kind of teenagers, still the backbone of it is very, very interesting. The topics that the program is covering are very necessary. And we took that Commit program, also the program that was developed by the Estonian Ministry of Culture or Cultural Affairs for teenagers, amalgamated those, and also we tried to meet the expectations of the Social Insurance Board, who was actually requesting this this service from us, and we came up with this wonderful program. Here is also a little bit of a like an example of one of the flyers that we used, and the poster that we used to attract teenagers to come and join the event. The events were held in the biggest, by far the biggest accommodation centers that we have, the provisional accommodation center to the Ukrainian refugees in the country here in Estonia. It's a cruise ship. It's a cruise ship of Tallink, very, very big. And so this is where we had these sessions delivered. And as you can see, it's in Ukrainian language. We had these flyers and posters, obviously translated to Ukrainian. Not every session, but almost every session, we had an expert a visiting expert from Estonian social services, either from police also, or Lastemaja, the children's house, for example. This is also an organization that is curated by the Social Insurance Board and is dealing with traumatized children. So lots and lots of interesting experts also who came to talk to youngsters about the work. For example, we had people who were coming from the special organizations in the country that are dealing with either unemployed or who help people to get employed. So and lots of interest there for sure. So very successful program. Actually, today at 2 o'clock, I had a big meeting with colleagues from the Social Insurance Board, and we have just learned that that the program has been a great success, and it's continuing from January onwards. Also moving outside of Tallinn, we are going to be a bit more mobile. So this is the great big news. But the success factors are in front of you. So well, first of all, there's a lovely picture here. This is Inessa, one of our trainers, and well, key to every successful program always, is to do with trainers. I'm sure that you all know. At IOM, and I'm sure again, Andres has maybe had an opportunity to tell you how we are training our trainers at IOM. This is a very dedicated undertaking. It also involves a lot of again, collegial support from foreign countries. We also have a very, very tough selection process. Not everyone can become an IOM trainer, so they really need to fit the bill, so to speak, and really this is a very rigorous selection process. Also, all the trainers are having the international background check and also the local Estonian one. So it's all very, very, it's made very safe to have these people working with the beneficiaries, and especially when they work with children and youngsters and vulnerable people as well. So these well-trained trainers and obviously the IOM organization knowledge, this is where we constantly try to update ourselves with what is happening on the educational landscape, what are these new ways or new practices that could be tried with refugee children. So we are constantly keeping ourselves informed about these new methods or methodologies. So definitely we also, the success factor, the great success factor, at least here in Estonia, we are relying a lot on the local expert knowledge. So what does that mean? We try to work as much as possible with universities, with independent think tanks, but also not only Estonian experts, but also foreign experts if we manage to attract some of them here. And also, yes, fruitful collaboration with Social Insurance Board and all sorts of different partners. With several programs that we have at the moment in the development phase, we are working with many governmental institutions, the Ministry of Education and Research, of course, the Ministry of Cultural Affairs, also the Ministry of Interior, as they are also to do with migration issues, but the Social Insurance Board and many others, local municipalities. With the actually the activity day with IOM on board Isabella ship, we had a very good partner in the city of Tallinn. Tallinn is the largest host to Ukrainian refugees in the country, so they obviously had their interest there too, to see that this program is going to be successful. They really did a lot to attract the beneficiaries, the possible beneficiaries. So this kind of partnership is also very, very important. And yes, well, 141 plus 34, that 34 was the pilot back in October, late October. So yeah, 175 beneficiaries had learned about Estonia and learned about the customs here, how we live here, and this certainly, I hope, is proving helpful to them. What was interesting about the project to me was maybe this approach that we took from Commit program, and this is now talking about let's be sort of talking shop, as they say in English. Something that kind of tricks refugee children into working along with you, and that was the constant comparison that came to us. That methodology came to us through Commit program. So basically, you are talking about things in Estonia, right? You're talking about the customs in Estonia, but you constantly make referrals also to customs back in Ukraine, right? So you're comparing, basically coming to a solution where you say to a child or youth that look, things are not very different here. Things are basically the same, just they've done differently, right? So it was fantastic to see how well actually kids adopt this way of thinking as well, and making these recognizing these differences. Very, very interesting experience indeed. And Inesta, our trainer here, well, if you need to have a little session with her, I mean, I can set it up. She's brilliant and definitely one of our very best in terms of delivering these sessions on board Isabella. But what else then is happening to us at the moment? So I've already mentioned that there are programs in development, and so the adoption program for teenagers we just covered. We have the teacher support program in development, which is a great interest to me, and also social worker support program in development, and child support officer support program in development. This is the newest addition. So we have been approached by various governmental institutions, and basically we start from the new year with our partners from Tallinn University, with our partners from the NGO Mondo, and we will be working with teachers and school leaders. Essentially, these programs mean that our teachers have, will benefit from better understanding of migration, or forced migration as well, and they will understand the refugee status and humanitarian what is actually humanitarian crisis. I know that we all watch television and we know what is happening, but especially the forced migration, and especially also in Estonia, we have elections coming up in March, and with elections, there's always somebody coming also along who is offering some populist remedies and quick remedies to clear some sort of problems in society. And at the moment in Estonia, we also hear more and more about these sort of, the refugees here, that, they are not really making any contribution to Estonian society, that they are only, using our goodwill here or whatever. So this is something that is very serious. And at the moment, this is actually something that has come to us, this knowledge that, we need to kind of also deal with this, that the frontline workers, and I also include teachers who are working with the Ukrainian refugee children, but not only teachers, but also social workers, educational specialists working at local municipalities, and so forth, child support officers. And they would all benefit from being protected from this malicious and empathetic narratives. And it also will help them to, our program will help them to cope with their own emotional tensions, including the prevention of compassion fatigue, which is another serious task. So it's important to learn these very relevant skills when you deal with refugee children who do not want to be here very often. So this is something that obviously is a major argument always in these conversations, that Ukrainian refugee children haven't made that choice to come here. They are very different in that regard from, let's say, the refugee teenagers or youngsters traveling to Europe back in 2016 or 2017. Yeah, this is a serious thing. So our program will also include then some practices, common practices that we know that can be used to assure an inclusion of these refugees in the classroom and making the classroom a safer space, both to teachers and to refugee children, and also to kids who are not refugees, also studying in that class. Now, I have talked too much. It's time for me to stop. I'm sure you have questions. Please feel free. If I can, I will obviously try and answer your questions as best I can. Thank you very much. Anju.
Thank you, Anna, for your presentation. And I really, before opening the session of questions and discussions, I would like to ask you, as a person who was teacher, as far as I understood before, what could be your recommendations for teachers who really are starting to work with the refugee children, who are getting the children into the classes? You know, it's like, I believe it is a lot of different programs, but still it is, you know, sometimes you are coming in front of the fact that you have to react, and what next steps should be done, you know?
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, the most important thing in the classroom is that everybody is feeling safe there and trusted. So I know it's very hard to you know, to establish that very quickly, and especially I'm not sure how this is working out in Vilnius or in Lithuania in general, but in Estonia, many Ukrainian kids who have come to Estonian schools have entered, well, they have joined the classes below their own from Ukraine. The reason behind it, I'm sure this is pretty similar in Lithuania, but the reason there is obviously this is a well-known fact that they learn language quicker if they know at least vaguely what is happening on the blackboard or in front of them, right? So this is the language acquisition technique, but not only, not by any means. So yes, just to imagine that this guy, maybe it's like, you know, 15, suddenly finds himself sitting in the same classroom with 13-year-olds, and you know, where could be his motivation, right? What is, I think, always very necessary is to be very truthful with the child, truthful with your pupil, and explain exactly how things are. You know, this is because, you know, this is, you know, we have scientific evidence that this is the way how you are learning language quicker, and this is better for you. It's for your benefit. This is something that needs to be stressed all the time, I think, as well. But yes, establish trust would be my answer.
All right. So I will ask our audience, maybe somebody have a question. Yeah, Ruta.
Ruta.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Ruta.
Thank you for the presentation. I don't know why I can't turn my my camera on. Okay, then I will just give a question. Okay, sorry, you can't see me. So my question is about the teacher support program. You mentioned that you have a teacher support program, and I would really like to hear more about the topics you are covering in this teacher support program.
If you remember, the slide actually said that they are all in development at the moment. So we are doing this in cooperation with Tallinn University, with also hopefully Mondo, but also local experts here, sort of independent experts. So what we are looking at achieving is that we have this we have the theoretical part on migration issues in general, just to, first of all, to paint a backdrop of what is this forced migration. You know, what is it really? We know that we see these refugees in the country, in Estonia and in Lithuania, I'm sure. But then how does this mechanism work, and what does it actually mean to be a person in that setting? There is also a workshop possible to include there, where teachers are creating a profile of a refugee teenager, so that they would understand better what does it mean to be that person. So that's the one part of this program, the support program for teachers. And the second part is really the sort of self-preservation. They are taught techniques of dealing with their emotions and dealing with this load that they are carrying at the moment. The teachers are really overworked in Estonia. So, and there are actually psychosocial experts that we are working with from Tallinn University, 3 ladies who are working with these small groups, and they are also having workshop type sessions where they are practicing these techniques, how to be emotionally well, right? Which is at the moment a very necessary thing in Estonia. This is actually the scope that we have received from the Ministry of Education and Research to preserve the teachers' mental well-being.
Thank you very much, and I think it's very important. The very important point of this program is the teachers' well-being, because usually we just forget about, well, the most teacher training programs. I mean, they forget about teacher well-being. They are, you know, training teachers how to deal with children, how to, I don't know, be better at the student achievements, or just to give support for the pupils who are struggling, but somehow sometimes we are forgetting teachers themselves. So thank you very much for this elaboration on the program.
I can only promise this thing, Andrius, that when we are ready to actually present, we definitely invite you and all your colleagues, so that you can then share the what you've learned. And obviously, everyone is very welcome, and we certainly want to come back and talk about this more when we already have had sessions and everything is working. But yes, as I said, it's in the final stages of development at the moment.
Yeah, I believe it is a very good idea, you know, to strengthen our cooperation, and it is the only question to find the solution to the language, but I don't think it is huge trouble. We can try to find it. And let's see, maybe somebody else have one more question. Okay. Before somebody you will think about the questions, I have one. I would like to ask a little bit more details about the Ministry of Culture, because I heard something that you had something cooperation or program with the Ministry of Culture, or I misunderstood.
Well, the Minister of Cultural Affairs in Estonia is currently actually in charge of adaptive courses to migrants in Estonia. So our these welcome sessions or these adaptive courses, this is something that we are. This is curated by the Ministry of Cultural Affairs, and yes, we do work with them. Although our welcome sessions are delivered in partnership with the Estonian Refugee Council. So but just last week there was a roundtable. No, not last week. The week before. Sorry, 2 weeks ago. There was a roundtable at the ministry, and it's always good to hear what they are coming up with. And at the moment, obviously, the language topic is very hot in Estonia, so there is a great challenge how to provide more language courses to also Ukrainians who want to study the language.
And these welcome sessions, it is for Ukrainians, yes?
No, not only. We also deliver welcome sessions to all migrants. In Estonia, we actually deliver in Arabic, in Farsi, obviously in English, in Spanish, I think, as well. So yeah, and Turkish as well, Turkish. But at the moment, obviously, it is mostly, not mostly, I mean, I have been with IOM since September, and I haven't seen anything but Ukrainians.
And how they look like? It's like, are they big, long one, or they a short one, or just a couple of hours?
4 days.
4
4
days.
days. Yes. I could actually, show you. I think if I can. I can show you what the timetable would look like in English, right? Would that be of interest?
Yeah.
So let me see. I'm just going to share my screen again. So this is something that is it visible?
No, you're not sharing at the moment.
Oh, interesting. Right?
Yeah, now something.
Working now, right? So basically, this is the actual timetable for the training.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of broken into certain topics, as you can see, and yeah. So these are the topics that we are covering, and yeah. So this is 4 days.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And maybe we have any ideas, thoughts from the audience. I see a lot of people we still have here, and I really would like to hear some more questions.
I'm not sure, Andreas, but if it helps, I mean, I speak also Russian. If they want to ask anything in Russian rather than English.
Hello, I would like to ask about teaching Estonian. Have teachers faced any challenges with Ukrainian students? And what techniques, strategies were used?
Yes, well, the language immersion is obviously a great topic here, and we do have a couple of schools in Estonia which are very, very, very advanced in this. One is Ragu School in Tallinn. So yeah, the language immersion is obviously a big thing. But I have to say that, you know, what is really remarkable is the willingness of Ukrainians to learn the language. And now we're really talking more about adults, to be honest. But yeah, but also I've got to say that the majority of people are really embracing the fact that they are here safe and yeah. We don't have enough Estonian teachers at the moment. This is a big problem. So, yeah, a lot of willingness there from the Ukrainian side.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody
Now,
else?
is anyone who's going to tell me about Lithuania and how are you doing there? And what are your major challenges? What are you working with when it comes to helping teachers or Ukrainian refugees? Or
Okay, so I will try to start, let's say, like from IOM position. So the thing it is that what we are focusing now really trying to find out the needs of the teachers and looking from the teachers' perspectives. So as you know, we made a research together with Vilnius Magnus University to check the needs, and what we noticed, at least from this research, that mostly teachers are missing competencies. They have willingness. They are open to find new ways to work with the refugee children. But the challenge it is that mostly of them, they have less or no experience working. And for that, it's a huge need to develop these skills. And based on this, what we are doing, organizing some conferences, trying to involve foreign experts. As you know, it's like we also had a seminar with the expert from Canada, who's like really professionally working on the topic for more than 20 years. And it was very nice that, you know, her experience is based like as a teacher. She came to Canada as a teacher, as a refugee from Yugoslavia, post-Yugoslavia. And these our activities even now is like we are focusing on providing the seminars, online seminars, trying to find new methodologies, you know, methods to work to include refugee children into the society, because again what we are noticing, we cannot work only with the question of just working with the Ukrainians. We also have to work with our own, like Lithuanians society, community, because otherwise we will have problems with the integration, with the, you know, fights inside, the cultural shock, because the cultural shock it is not only for students who are coming here, for refugees, but it's also for the local society, because facing changes, it's always hard. It's never easy, and everybody just faced these challenges together. So I believe nobody was ready, you know, for so huge numbers of refugees who joined us, no Estonia, no Lithuania, no Poland. And educational systems are really trying to find their own ways to do it. And personally, I totally support, you know, a help for teachers. So, and I see the question in our chat. Hello, what about children with dyslexia? Do they get some extra support in Estonia?
Are we talking about the refugee children, or are we talking about the Estonian kids here? I mean, actually, it doesn't really matter because they all do get help. Yes. Our system is developed so that the Ministry of Education and Research has a very practical body called Harno, Hariduse Noorte Amet. So this is the Education and Youth Board. So they are implementers of, let's say, the policies that the ministry is introducing. And as implementers, they have worked the system, which is called the Rajaleidja, in English, Pathfinder. And this is the system that is evaluating the child from the time he or she is going to school up until he or she is actually graduating the school. So, and through this system, this Pathfinder system, everyone who needs a special support is found, is sort of noticed, and also already gets referrals to specialists. And obviously the schools have their support teachers as well, who are and support experts who are then helping with such matters. Yeah, so it doesn't really. I'm sure that that when we talk about Ukrainian kids at the moment, it must be quite challenging because we don't have many specialists who actually speak Ukrainian. But yeah, this is the system how children or adults with dyslexia actually get help.
Thank you. And does anybody else have any questions or remarks or ideas to share with us?
It seems it's been a long day for everyone.
Yeah, I believe you know, Christmas time is arriving closer and closer, and this can be one of the challenges, you know, to focus, because in a way it is one of the largest our celebrations, and everybody are waiting for Santa Claus to come. So
yeah, it's a fabulous time of the year, and we have lots and lots of snow, too much actually, in Tallinn at the moment, and the weather is pretty cold. So you know, yeah, Christmas is always nice when it's white, but obviously we are all thinking about Ukrainians back in Ukraine, and as Estonians, we are obviously they're very much in our thoughts.
And maybe, you know, and you could share some examples about community work, how like maybe it's some activities done between the schools or initiated in the schools from NGOs, and how could be possible to help for the schools, you know, especially from external.
Actually, the same Raevu school that I'll try and get some materials, and I'll send them over to you. But Ragu school is the absolute leaders at the moment in integrational matters here in Tallinn, at least, and you know, they're very, very successful with the language immersion project, and they do really dedicate a lot of time to you know, really integrating, really sort of, you know, including not only Ukrainian but also Russian children to Estonian community. And they have a lot of help from NGOs. There are parents who have set up NGOs, and they have. I went. I think it was maybe 3 weeks ago when they had like a Christmas fair at the beginning of December. They had a Christmas fair, so all the parents and students were selling their, you know, whatever they had made, or so this is one way of showing how this community work really brings the different communities together. Russian-speaking, Estonian, Ukrainian. So yeah, so that's one of the examples that I immediately sort of sprung to my head. But there are certainly a lot more and very interesting projects. I've heard of a project, for example, that is somehow curated by Estonian, the Association of Entrepreneurial Estonian Women. So they have also reached out to Ukrainian ladies, because there are lots and lots of women here, refugees from Ukraine. So just to kind of, you know, to help them to feel a bit more at home and protected. So they have also developed like mutual projects together with this NGO, Estonian NGO, inviting the Ukrainian women to take part in their activities. They have like a sort of sports tournament. I think this is basketball, and they have other like physical, you know, sports activities that they are doing, and they're collecting points together, and every point is actually worth something. So this is all going for the war effort. So there are lots and lots of interesting things I've heard. But yes, IOM is not part of these. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? We still have time for the last question. As we don't have any questions, at least I cannot see it. And it's like, personally, I really would like to thank you for your presentation. This is our first Lithuanian-Estonian meeting online, which was organized. I really hope that we will have more opportunities to work together. And at least from what I heard today, it's like, I believe it is a lot of topics that we really can work together, especially on focusing on empowering teachers, empowering working in the schools, the communities, working with the NGOs. And I really would like to wish you happy Christmas.
And happy Christmas to you all as well. And thank you for listening so attentively. And I really hope I wasn't wasting your time because, yeah, this is short but sweet. And I hope that it did inspire you somewhat. So thank you very much for inviting me, and Merry Christmas.